was so much discussions with Devin Haney and Shakur, um, to the point that now we're seeing that Tank Davis has interest in wanting to scoop that fight up, and steal that fight from Shakur Stevenson and get and Devin Haney to fight next. He says he wants to fight Big Nose next on the social media.
That's what Tank said.
Yeah.
Oh, well, uh, yeah, I don't really think that's a good look for the kid, being that, all the talks that's been happening, everything that's been said. So no, I don't think that's a good look on them. And they looking to try to find anything to go against them. You know, so Devin had his time in on that side, but he made the comeback. So now everybody's on Devin now. You know, um, and Shakur, still they hate him, because he's so good. They hate him because he's so good, and so he's had to, he say how he feel though. It is how he feels. So you just got to take whatever come back with that. I don't know about the throwing him up there against Boots Ennis, because I think he took the fight at. No, he didn't want to take the fight at 52.
Right.
But at the same time, Devin Haney, I think 47 pounder is a
But
good
he
weight.
wanted to fight. But he wanted to fight Xander at 52. There was interest in that.
Ah, well, I guess they picking and choosing now. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, everybody got to do what's best for them, whatever they think is in their best interest, and that's really it. It's whatever is best for you. Like I say, these guys about to fight, and they saying it's 50-50. So ain't no real choice in that. They calling this a 50-50 fight. So whether you fought him or him, it's still a great step up for him in some sense, as far as the weight and the class. Not a he's a good they good fighters, and so it wouldn't have been no knock either way. However he did it, if he fought Xander or if he fought Boots, and pretty surely he had to fight Boots had he got past Xander. So I don't know. Everybody read into their words too much, maybe.
It seems like, Tank seeing that there's all this money that's going around, that Turkey's throwing out there. I mean, it has to be that. Or do you feel like, these fights don't need to be with Turkey, and, they could just do a straight pay-per-view with guys like Tank and Devin and Tank and Shakur? They were going back and forth with Shakur and Tank. They did a weigh-in to see how much you weigh right now, and then Tank weighed in. I think Tank weighed in at 147 walk
Mm.
around, and Shakur was walking around at 148. And
I seen him put
yeah,
up a 44 mark. Shakur did on his Instagram. I posted that. I reposted it. Shakur weighed 44.4, I think.
oh yeah, for the Devin weigh-in.
I don't know, but I just know he posted this picture of that scale said 144. That's all I know. He
Mm.
posted it, his scale, where it said 144. He weighed 144.4 on
Oh,
his Instagram.
I thought it said 148.
I thought it said 44, but I don't know. Either way, either way, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he about 150 pounds, which is what a normal lightweight usually weighs. Shane Mosley said that. He said, I usually walk around about 150 and I can dunk a basketball at that. But when I get down to 35, I guess he couldn't or something. Okay, he said 144 somebody. Then they said the next week he posted 48. See, I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Kick. I'm not on none of that stuff, man. I barely be on Instagram for real. I go to YouTube because that's it. I go to YouTube, I watch your show, and that's really it. I don't really watch nobody else. I watch me, you know, I watch whatever they got on, other people, but I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on that stuff. So I don't really keep up with everything.
Yeah, so that being said, they're talking. That's a weight situation too. It's like it seems like Tank was seeing that Devin and Shakur are talking about 144, and obviously Shakur, he probably stating in that interview with the white girl. Excuse me, I don't know your name. I apologize, but she says, no, he says, that what he's going to come in at 160, 65 pounds when we fight. And same thing when these guys were going back and forth with Devin and Gervonta Tank Davis. Same thing. He's saying if we fight, we're doing a rehydration. You know what I mean?
That's
You're
what
not gonna
Tank
be.
said.
Yeah,
That's what Tank said. Well,
yeah,
like I'm saying, and I think that's fair. Or just leave Devin alone. I think that's fair. Or just leave Devin alone. Devin not really calling for none of these fights. You know, Devin not really calling saying, I gotta fight Tank or I want to fight Shakur and everything. He said he will, but he's not calling for these fights. So, I think that he said out loud, I guess, that he would make the 144 mark. And so, like I'm saying, I figured this is just my opinion. Either he weighs 147 and can't come no more than 160 in the ring, or he weighs 44 and he come in whatever he want to weigh. That's just what I would say. That's just my opinion about it. That's just my opinion. Either we weigh 147 or and I come in whatever I want, or I weigh 144 and he weigh 160. So
yeah,
that's just we can't go too. Listen, the whole thing is about making the weight. They're the weight class. The next day it don't matter. They already did that unless you with the IBF, and they ain't fighting the IBF. So the IBF, they ain't on there. Do whatever you want. It's either that's it. That's it. If we gonna do this or we ain't gonna do it. It's either one way or another. He's the welterweight champion. If you want to fight the welterweight champion, then that's it. He has to make 147 pounds, and that's it. He has to make 147 pounds. And like I'm saying now, if we want to go later on, he can't come in no more than 160 or something. Gain no more than 12 to 15 pounds. Okay, but the weight limit is 147. That's the limit. You can't go over 147. So we can't. Now, like I'm saying, even when I said with Devin with Shakur, now you can't just do anything with him. You know, so it's vice versa. Y'all just can't just call him and say any damn thing. You can't just put him on every stipulation. That just ain't fair. So we got to come. To me, that just sounds like a happy medium. Either I'm gonna make 144 and I come in whatever I want, or I'm gonna come in whatever I want after that, or I'm gonna weigh 147. I'm gonna come in no more than 10, 12 pounds the next day. So I don't know. That's how I would run it because I'm saying, they, he the welterweight champion. At the end of the day, he's a welterweight champion. You want to fight for the title or you don't want to fight for the title.
yeah, yeah. Um, Floyd Schofield goes on this his senior goes on the internet and says that this is all smoke and mirrors, and we all know that the WBO is going to mandate Devin Haney. So this he's thinking that why is we all know that also the WBA has to make a decision real soon. I see Oscar De La Hoya saying that Tank is WBA still in recess, and they were supposed to make that decision yesterday. The deadline was yesterday. So
To see if Tank and Schofield gonna fight.
yeah,
I mean, listen, man. The thing about it is listen. It's either shit or get off the pot. You know, Tank, you got the mandatory. You hold the championship. Schofield's the number one contender. They made it. Either they're gonna fight or they're not, or get out the way. Then he can fight the Lucas Body or whoever he's gonna fight. Tank really don't need no belts. So they just
not
hold.
that belt anyway.
He don't need no belts.
I mean, but if say he fought these guys, he would get his first welterweight division title.
Well, yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
welterweight.
That'd be his WBO title, but
Yeah, it's
but then
probably
that's.
more legacy.
I mean, yeah, fighting Devin Haney. Like I was saying, Devin Haney is a good fighter. Devin Haney is a good fighter, but I mean, he still got a lot to prove. You know what I'm saying? We not gonna, that's a good fight because they all youngins. And like I say, this is the most glaring um comparison I can say is just like I always go back to the Timothy Bradley. These guys are young. Nobody's really separated themselves from the pack. And so the one has to dominate the other. And Timothy Bradley did that with Lamont Peterson, with Devin Alexander, with Kendall Holt. Them was the three guns. I can't remember who else it was, but he beat those guns that were all coming around out that Olympic class around that time. And he beat those guys, at the 140 pound. So this is somebody has to do that. Nobody's really above the pack. Like I said, Devin Haney has fought a lot of experienced guys, Lomachenko, Jorge Linares, Jojo Diaz, Yorkis Gamboa. He's fought all these guys, and I'm not going to say, but he has some type of advantage over those guys. Either he was younger, he was fresher, still good fights and still learning experiences for him. And I can't take nothing away from him from that. And that's to get him to this point where he's at. But he had the Ryan Garcia thing, and we still can't forget about that. Now Ryan did cheat, but we still saw the flaws, but we also saw the resiliency. We also saw the heart. We also saw, the tenacity that he showed. So um the coming back and beating Brian Norman, was a good win. It's a great win, but Brian Norman is a limited fighter, you know, and so uh, beating Devin Haney is a great feather in any of their caps. But I mean, he still had to do more after that. It's not like the pinnacle, Like I say, Crawford beat all those guys from three different.
Beating Haney would be solidify him as a Hall of Famer, right?
No,
No.
no, no. They got to do more to get into the Hall of Fame, man. They got to do more to get into the Hall of Fame. They ain't had no. To me, they got to do more. All of them got to do more to get in the Hall of Fame. They ain't had no. Listen, Manny Pacquiao had blockbusters. Floyd Mayweather had blockbusters. Felix Trinidad had blockbusters. Sweet Pea had blockbusters. Oscar De La
Miguel,
Hoya had blockbusters.
Miguel Cotto.
Miguel Cotto, they had blockbusters. And he went. Even though he didn't win all his blockbuster fights, but he went. He had exciting fights. He fought the best, and
Canelo.
he gave Canelo. Yeah, so come on, they ain't fighting enough. They ain't fighting enough. They ain't mixing it up. And even at the same time with the Hall of Fame, you can beat guys like, let's say Shakur, he fought Morataya, he fought Antoine Russell, you know, um, he beat the other kid over there, the Dalton Smith, or he beat the Richard Hitchens. Those are good wins to solidify him in the Hall of Fame. Either way, whether it's Russell, if he did the same thing, Devin Haney, if he did the same thing, these are the guys that, you know, somebody was telling me about Tank, and they were saying, well, I say, but these got Tank, Ryan Garcia, and Rolly Romero is not going to be revered 20 years from now.
Mm.
They're not going to be revered 20 years from now. You got guys like I say, a Jorge Paez that was a very colorful champion, a good champion that nobody talks about right now. Better fighter than Ryan Garcia, better fighter than you know uh, Ryan Garcia and Tank and Rolly Romero. So in 20 years, these guys not going to be revered. They good wins right now because they're popular, but they not. They're limited fighters. They not that good. Like I say, Anton Russell was not as popular as them, but he's a better fighter than Rolly. He's a better fighter than Ryan, but he's not as it's as popular as those guys. But nobody's trying to fight Antoine Russell. Now that's a good win. Now he got that close loss to Puello, and Puello was a really good fighter, but still, the mystique or the stigma on Antoine Russell, you know, that's a good win for you. That's a better win, I think, than Rolly and Ryan Garcia. And Ryan looked good in his last fight, but Barrios, come on now. We thought he lost against an old Pacquiao. A lot of people thought he lost that fight. I thought he lost that fight. It's clear that he lost the fight. You know, he beat up Uga, so I just want to see these guys mix it up for real.
Yeah. Yeah. But Barrios went out and gone out to beat Ugas, and then well, he
No,
lost.
no,
He
no,
lost
no.
to Keith Thurman.
Yeah, yeah. Now he said, Odd Insightful says so. Oscar Valdez will be revered, and Padley. No, Padley was a keep going because obviously Schofield dropped out. The Oscar Valdez, he's definitely a better fighter than Rolly Romero. And Oscar Valdez won his world championships outright. He beat the guys that he needed to beat, and he beat them good. Okay, he fought. Okay, lost to Navarrete, but he beat some really good guys. He was an Olympian. He had a good style, So now they're not going to be revered, but that's a better win than beating a Rolly Romero or a Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is popular, but